Hello everyone, welcome to Rockstar Gaming. My name is Eric. Today we're going to be unboxing the DC Superheroes United Batman Hush Core Box. This is a standalone retail core box that was released, much like how with Marvel United, they released the Spider-Geddon core box at retail during the third season of Marvel United with Multiverse, rather than releasing the Season 1 and Season 2 core boxes, like shipping them early through the Kickstarter. They decided this time to once again do a standalone core box. So that is what we have right here. This is the Batman Hush core box based off of the 2002-2003 original Hush storyline by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. So let's go ahead and take a look at the top of the box right here. A little shiny. We haven't taken the plastic off yet. We've got Batman as he looked in that post Neo Gotham, Officer Down era, whatnot. It's the costume he wore during the original Hush storyline. We've got Superman over here with some vines on him, but wearing close to his classic costume. Down here in the corner, we do have the Tim Drake version of Robin. We have Catwoman over here. We've got the Joker. We've got classic Harley Quinn, and we've got the aforementioned Hush right up there. On the back, we have our components. We have pictures of our models. We've got our four main heroes right here. Classic version of Batman, the Tim Drake Robin, the goggles version of Catwoman. We've got Huntress. We've got a dual mode character with Superman because he is controlled at one point in the storyline. It's actually the first part of the storyline I actually ended up buying back then, which would have been, I believe, issue 612 was the storyline where heavily advertised the battle between the big battle post-crisis between Batman and Superman. So we've got that over there. But he has dual mode characters, so you'll be able to play as Superman. And we got Joker, Harley Quinn, and Hush right here. As far as the plot of this game here, we've got when Gotham City's most notorious villains start acting out of character, the Cape Crusader knows a more insidious master plan is at work. Devised by the shadowy figure known as Hush, Batman and his allies must act together to protect the innocent, face dire threats, and confront the villains to uncover this revenge plot. But things take a deadly turn when the Man of Steel himself falls under Poison Ivy's mind control. The only hope of solving this mysterious case is for the heroes to stand united. So we got that going on right there. It is for 1 to 5 players because the game is usually 4 players, but 1 to 5 meaning that they're going to have one of the solo modes in the game. I can't remember if it's going to be Commander solo mode or that new solo mode they introduced during the Kickstarter. 5th player is going to be the super villain mode where somebody can actually play as one of the villains. 30 minutes to play around on here and to clean up the mean streets of Gotham. You have to be 14 years old, which is usually older than Batman recruits the Robins. Argue about it in the comments. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we have inside. Now, like I said a few minutes ago, the first proper, as an adult, I guess you can say, of Batman that I bought was issue 612, which was the Batman, I believe it was 612, which was the Batman versus Superman storyline, where this box pretty much covers Harley and Joker. I think we're in the issues right after this happened, like their part in the storyline, because I think beforehand you had Huntress and you had him dealing a little bit with Catwoman, Killer Croc, all that stuff going on over there and whatnot. So that is the box without, it's a shiny box, it just doesn't have the extra shine of the plastic wrap on it. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got. We'll place that over there. But yeah, so just so you know, I did read different Batman books from when I was younger as a kid. I was mostly an X-Men kid when I was in middle school and high school, but I did have a few issues of Batman from back then. But like seriously ongoing collecting, the Hush storyline was where I basically started diving into the deeper parts of DC Comics. So we have our free content card right here, nothing on the back. We've got that over there. We have our rule book that covers both American and British English right there. The box is DCU 001, so I guess this is release number 1. So I'm wondering if the core box, the regular core box, is going to be release number 2. We'll see. So we've got our standard Marvel United stuff, or not Marvel United, DC Superheroes United, United System stuff in here. So again, there's our 4 characters, or 8 characters right there, our 4 heroes, 3 villains, and 1 dual mode character. I do like the fact that they added Tim Drake into the game in this one, because if you guys remember from the actual Kickstarter campaign, Tim Drake was the only Robin who did not show up. Nightwing got 2, or Dick Grayson got 2 releases with a Nightwing in the Gotham City expansion, and Robin version in the Teen Titans expansion. Jason Todd did not get a Robin, but he got a dual mode character for Red Hood. And then Damian got, of course, a Robin figure in the Arkham Asylum box. And then Spoiler is also in there as Spoiler, Stephanie Brown. She's not a Robin, but she is in there as... she is in the game as well. So Tim Drake, only one not in there. So got all of our components right over here. Let's see here. Got a yellow villain tracker because, got to collect all the infinity cubes, apparently. So we got the directions for setup, how to play. This game does have a couple extra things that we'll take a look at on the board that we covered during the all the 500 videos we did during the Kickstarter. Activating BAMs, add thugs, civilians, all that stuff. It has been a while since we've actually gotten to sit down and play Marvel United on the channel or even in personal life, so I probably will have to refresh myself on some of this stuff, especially because we've got these new things right here, which is our special effects. I'm going to hold that one up right there so you can't probably read it, because I am aware that the resolution on this camera is not the absolute best when close up. But we do have our new special effects, which is we have charge effects, constant effects, and then mandatory effects. Now, these things have been in Marvel United prior. They're just more clearly defined as to what they're doing during in DC Superheroes United. For example, Wolverine's like healing factor. It's like as long as his card's here, you can heal and whatnot, or as long as it's face up and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the same thing with the constant effects. It just blatantly spells those out. Now, like, this is what they are. So it's not necessarily a difference. It's just a pointing out difference, I guess. Again, I haven't played it yet because we're unboxing it right now, but that's kind of how I interpreted things in the game right there. And then we also have the under pressure effects, where basically, during normal gameplay, villain does this until now under pressure, in which case some of their abilities will change. Even says right here, some villain dashboards, master plan cards, or threat cards may have under pressure effects identified by a yellow box with an alarm on it and black background. These effects are only active once the villain becomes under pressure, and from then on fully replace the regular effect listed above them, if any. I believe, spoiler, I have not actually played through all the content of Marvel United Season 3, especially Multiverse, but I believe that is a new thing here in Marvel, or in DC Superheroes United. I apologize to Marvel, DC Comics, and Spin Master, and CMON, because I'm going to interchange all that all over the place. I'm going to probably call this Marvel United many more times. I do know, though, that it is DC Superheroes United. I apologize. Anyway, so we have our standard missions. Again, we have our henchman cards, regular threat cards, all that sort of thing. And deterrent effects. We've got the same dashboards here. The under pressure is more pointed out or more visible there. We've got the equipment cards, which we've already gotten in Marvel United Season 3. They're making a comeback here in this one. We've got additional rules for additional tokens. We've got dual mode characters listed here. Permanent effects on locations. We talk about supervillain mode and the supervillain cards. I believe the supervillain cards in this are the same ones in regular Marvel United in the X-Men, Spider-Geddon, and Multiverse boxes. I believe it's always the extra cards that come with the Kickstarter are the ones that are different as opposed to the ones that come in the core boxes are usually all the same. I believe that's how it's going to go. And then we have the rules for Commander Solo mode. So that is the mode they are bringing back for solo play in this one. I thought there was some new mode that they were doing. It might be a Kickstarter exclusive for DC Superheroes that they were... I cannot remember what it is because it's been about a year now since we've talked about this. But I know there's another solo mode coming out. I just don't have time right now to show it. So anyway, so let's go ahead and take a look at our components. We got standard health tokens, thug tokens, threat tokens down here, stuff like that. Flipping them over, we still have basically the same thing. What you do notice on here, because I believe, again, the Joker is different in this one, is that we don't have that one token that is Joker on the other side. At least I don't think we do. I don't see it on here. No, I don't see one that is Joker, so it's a different Joker than we are getting in the core box. Yeah, core box. We do have... I'm missing a BAM. We do have our other tokens right here. We've got our attack tokens, our punch tokens here. We've got our heroic actions, movement, wild tokens, KO tokens, BAM tokens, everything else going on here. The only new token we've got down here is our Poison Ivy token. Right there at the bottom. It's the same on both sides. Right here. So that's going to be the only new token. If we do any gameplay footage, which I'm hoping we can get to, of this game, we will be using the plastic tokens for Marvel United on this, with the exception of that one for Poison Ivy, which I'm assuming is going to be for the Superman villain version. So let's go ahead and take our lid off right here, and it does say DC Superheroes United right there. We've got our location cards right here, which again, these are like a dark gray black color on the back here. I feel like the Marvel United ones are gray, like a lighter gray like this is. So it's just another way of differentiating the two games and also differentiating the components as well. And we'll go ahead and take a look first at the locations in the game. So we've got Bristol Township right here. And that's what that one does. And then we've got the Monarch Theatre. Looks like a great establishment right there. Batman must spend an additional movement to enter this location when using movement actions during this turn. Probably to leave, he has to yell Martha. We've got Sicily right here. Now, I'm going to be very, 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 very honest. It has been a minute since I've read Hush. I meant to actually read it before I did this. Unfortunately, I didn't get the time to read it, and this was today filming this was my my one opportunity to get this film, so there you go. So we've got that. I've got the Roxbury Fielding Academy right here. So again, I can't remember what some of these locations have to do with the Hush storyline, but I apologize for that. We got Spiral Headquarters, which again I don't think was there, but you know, there we go. We got Saint Hadrian's Finishing School for Girls. Kane Chemicals. And then we've got Amusement Mile. And I am sure we're going to get other different, like the Batcave and other stuff like that, different locations in the, which they've already revealed, and I know we've talked about, but again, it's been a year, in the Gotham City Arkham Asylum boxes and in the main core box proper. So there's going to be the locations for the game. We do have our cube. It is yellow. So that's what it is. And then right here, can I get this ripped off here? Yep. So we're going to have our new villain dashboard. So We've got Under Pressure Hero Villain acts after every 2 hero cards. That's still standard in the game. Villain is now vulnerable to damage. That is still standard. And each hero immediately draws 1 card. So nothing has changed about the way the dashboard looks from Marvel United. It's just that they emphasize, that's probably the word I was looking for earlier, have emphasized the Under Pressure icons and the artwork there, so that way it's more apparent, like, hey, look at this, something has changed, don't just ignore this. So got our new dashboard there, and we've got our villains. So we do have special setup for all 3 of the characters. So as you can see, there's Harley and Joker. So that is the difference right there. I would admittedly, I didn't look up anything about the box beforehand or read anything, at least I don't remember. Did I do a video on this? So apparently I did talk about this box as far as like the original announcement and everything for it in January of January 3rd, 2025 is when I put it out. So it was either the 2nd or the 3rd of somewhere in there that I actually filmed that. So I have read this, but again, it's been 10 months, almost 11 months since I've looked at any of this, so I completely forgot the Joker and Harley Quinn. I'm like, I should have read about this before I did this video. You know, you did a whole video, and it was 40 minutes long. I talked about this for 40 minutes after editing. So pray for me, all y'all. So anyway, so there is the one side of Joker and Harley right there. There's the other side, because again, you are apparently fighting them at the same time. So we've got that. And we've got Superman controlled with his special setup and supervillain mode things there. And then we've got what he looks like there. And I didn't point it out on the Harley version, but down here on the BAM for Superman, it does deal 2 damage to 1 hero in Superman's location. Move the Poison Ivy token clockwise 1 direction. Once he's under pressure, he is now at deal 3 damage to 1 hero in Superman's location. Move the Poison Ivy token clockwise 1 location unless there are 2 or more heroes in the destination location. So if you're at Bristol Township and she goes to move to Monarch Theater, but like Robin and Huntress are in that location, you don't move her. So that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, that's an example right there of how things change with the characters when they have the under pressure effect going on now, is that they were doing this, now they're doing this. So basically, it makes it a little bit easier to try to track down Ivy, because you can, when she's under pressure, you can actually like stop her from moving. But Superman's going to hit harder and 3 damage unless there's some reason that somebody has extra cards in their hand. He's basically going to KO. He's basically going to KO another player if someone's in that location with him. And let's say special rules: Superman can only be damaged by a hero in his location who has the Kryptonite Ring equipment card. So there's that. Special rules: a non-Kryptonian hero must choose the Kryptonite Ring as one of their equipment cards. If Batman is in play, it must be him. Makes sense. King Chemicals must be the villain's starting location. Place the Poison Ivy token there. Place the starting Master Plan card at the top of the deck. So you got that going on. And then his special rules: when he KOs somebody, he bams. So he's just basically just going to keep punching people. Ivy's going to keep moving around. The Poison Ivy token is in the overflow. If the Poison Ivy token is in the overflow location or an adjacent one, move it clockwise in the next location. Villainous plot: heroes lose if the Poison Ivy token returns to the King Chemical location. So yeah. So even though Superman's going to hit like a truck, he is going to, you're going to want to put him under pressure just so he can stop Ivy from moving, potentially. Because unless there's another way to move her, she's going to win in 6 rounds. Or 6 villain rounds. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. So I am excited to play this. I am very excited. Hush! We've got him right there. And then boom, there is his other side of his card. Doesn't have any under pressure stuff. He's got less stuff on here, it looks like, just because he's got less boxes, but he doesn't have a win condition, villainous plot, or anything like that, but we'll read that when we go to fight him and see what it's going to take to do so. Let's go ahead and take a look at equipment. Let's go do that first, because we got our battle plan cards in here, which you don't necessarily need to look at. And then we've got our equipment cards here, so we'll see what we have for that. Now, again, it does say for that one kryptonite ring, that has to be a non-Kryptonian, meaning that you can't have... I don't know if the cards are going to be marked that they're Kryptonian or not, but it would be like Supergirl. I don't know. I can't remember. Connor Kent Superboy counts as that. He has to, because he's got half Superman's DNA in him. But we got Batarangs. We've got Grapplers. We've got Cape Wings. We've got Armored Gauntlets. We got a Lie Detector, which is like old school Adam West stuff right there. So that's pretty cool. Again, Batarangs, grappling hooks, Cape Wings. So we'll kind of show all these off when we actually play the game. Lie Detector, and then we've got Antidote. That is all Batman Classics stuff right there. And then we've got Robin, who also has Batarangs. He has his staff, and he's got his motorcycle. So we got that. Batman does not have a Batmobile, probably because he wrecked it in the first issue, I think 608 of that story. He's got airlift, though. That's good. So anyway, so we got those items there for Robin, Tim Drake, using your turn move, then turn this face down. So we got face down stuff right there. Huntress is going to have her crossbow and her motorcycle, so everyone's got a car except for Batman. So, Huntress has her crossbow right here, and again, I don't want to necessarily go through every single card, mainly because we want to have something for we do gameplays. But we got the whip and we got the goggles here for Catwoman right there. And yes, I do know that there is that there's another effect on the back of the cards I haven't shown off. Just haven't, because the recharge rules for the cards on the back right there. So we got that, and then as far as other stuff goes, we do have the Kryptonite ring, which is for Batman Any. Now those other items are for Batman Classic. These items are for Batman Any. That way you're not using basically those cards and mixing and matching them with regular Batman. So we got the Kryptonite ring, and then we've got all the other equipment items that other people can use. Like technically you can give Superman makeshift weapon if you're playing as him right there. But we also do have mini mines, smoke pellets, flashbang, a flare, body armor, comlink, airlift, which I think is the same card in Marvel United with the Quinjet, and then makeshift weapons. So, and they're all Batman themed essentially, like the flashbang right here. There's a Batman gas canister, that you would use on sharks. So there is that, and then we've got our normal battle plan cards from Commander Solo mode right there. So that is all the equipment cards. Let's go ahead quickly and take a look at our decks of cards here. This deck looks like it is going to be villains, I think, more so, because it's got Hush on the backside. So we'll see. It might be all the heroes and then Hush. So we got that. So we've got our normal defeat thugs, rescue civilians, and clear threats. We've got our moderate challenge and hard challenge, which is basically just taking out the wild tokens. We got our apparently kidnapping card right here, which goes with Joker and Harley Quinn. Right there. Now I remember seeing this, and I remember making a comment about it, but Punchline was not in Hush. So I know they had to give like a wanted to give a thug for some reason to Joker and Harley, but she's not even created for another 15, 20 years, something like that, because I believe Punchline, correct me if I'm wrong, unless they retcon something. I know not Mark Miller, Mark Waid's doing the whole DC universe, history book right now. Not to date the video or anything, but Punchline was not in the book. She didn't come till later on. Yeah, according to Wikipedia, Punchline is a supervillain who appears in American comic books published by DC Comics, commonly in association with supervillain the Joker, created by James Tynion IV and artist, is it George or Jorge? I'm not sure. Jimenez. She first appeared in Batman Volume 3, number 89, April 2020, during the Joker War story arc. I'm currently trying to catch up with Batman from that era, so I haven't even read that yet. But yeah, she doesn't show up for 18 years after this storyline was created, so that's the one thing I always did have a problem with this inclusion in here. I would have rather had Bob from not Hydra Bob, but 89 Batman Bob. That would have gone better, I feel like. Or throwing someone else in there from Hush. I mean, I don't know who you would put in there. No one else was really at the time. I really gotta go back through and read that story so I can whatever. But anyway, she deals 2 damage to 1 hero in this location. If there are no heroes here, add 1 thug to the location. So that's that. Master in Disguise, villains can't be damaged in this location if there are any thugs and civilians here. We got 3, 4, 5 of those. We got 5 of those and then 1 Punchline. So whatever. I've got these other cards for them, which is their Master Plan cards. Got the Criminal, which does that effect written on there. Oh, it's got actually pretty good artwork on the back there, like that. We've got the Clown card, which is a couple copies in there. The that we've got the Comedian right there, and then we've got a couple copies of Distraction, and then You're Too Serious right here, and then we've got one, which effect is that? Is that the Persistent Effect card? Constant Effect card, yep. We got a Constant Effect card. What doesn't kill you? If the Joker would be defeated, he immediately recovers 2 health, then turn this card face down. So that's always on the board, so basically when you defeat the Joker, he gets a quick recharge and keeps going. And like I said, these cards actually say the joke on the top and bottom. So again, I'm sure there's something with setup that I'm not paying attention to at the moment. Uncivilized people, your toys won't help you. Isn't it displeasing to be so alone? One bad day. The healing power of laughter. Do I look like I'm joking? And Escape. So we've got all these. We got Starting Master Plan card, and all these say the joke. So I am sure, again, there is context for all that I am not seeing because I'm just kind of, we're doing an unboxing. Then we've got Poison Ivy's control for Superman. For his threat cards, when this threat is cleared, move the Poison Ivy token counterclockwise 1 location. So there's another way to get Poison Ivy to move the other direction, so she doesn't automatically win in 6 moves. Now here's the thing. It says heroes lose if Poison Ivy returns to the Kane Chemicals location. So you basically you have to wait to clear these for a couple rounds because you don't want her basically to move back into it the other way, because I'm sure it would be, I don't know if they've updated a wiki or not wiki, if they've updated FAQ or not, but if she moves back counterclockwise in the location, does it still count her going back into the location and the heroes lose? Because if some overzealous player moves, like there's 3 thugs or 3 civilians somewhere and someone moves and just somehow within turn 1 clears that location, because Superman would have already gone first, she would have moved, or she could have moved, right? No, it has to be from the overflow. I don't know. I can foresee a situation where Poison Ivy moves, or moves back the other way, and you have to deal with the fact that she moved back into King Chemicals. So, yeah, I can completely see that. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 6 of his cards are that. So, so there you go for there. And then we've got normal Bam adding civilians, Bam adding civilians. He's got controlling minds, add 1 thug to the Poison Ivy token's location and to both locations adjacent to that. So he's got a few copies of that in his deck. And I like the artwork on the back though. Dude, it's pretty cool. So I like it. So controlling minds, got 4 versions of that. Of course, Superman Heat Vision deals 2 damage to 1 hero in a location adjacent to Superman's or in the location opposite to Superman. So basically the one left and right or the one straight across. So that can be pretty dire. More than likely players choose which one. So we got that. 2 copies of that moving at different speeds. And then we've got an under pressure version, up, and away. Superman moves to the location opposite the hero with the kryptonite ring. So when he's under pressure, he gets to move away. Only putting down 2 civilians with that card. And then he's got falling under Ivy's control. Accelerate the next villain turn by 1. So we've got that. And then we've got some Hush stuff right here. We've got his Hush plan cards, one of which is the bottom of the deck card. Does one of them specifically say at the top of the deck? Bottom of the deck, bottom of the deck. Bottom of the deck, bottom of the deck. So we got that. And he's got Hush plan, misdirection, defeat Killer Croc, defeat Poison Ivy. As long as this card is in play, other henchmen can't be defeated. They can't be dealt the last damage. So you can fight them and get them down to 1. But then you have to basically come back, take out Croc, take out Ivy, take out Harley, take out Joker, Clayface, and then you've got the villain. Apparently, I should say spoilers before this part, but it's a 20-year-old story, guys, 23-year-old story. At this point, the villain behind it all, riddle me that, defeat the Riddler, the villain behind it all, catch me if you can. So the Riddler can't be damaged. Place the villain tracker on the starting space of this track. Heroes can spend heroic action in this Riddler's location to advance the tracker 1 space. The Riddler is defeated when the tracker reaches the rightmost space, and there is this boxes right here. And then move the Riddler clockwise to the next location with no heroes. Only heroes in the Riddler's location can damage him, so you can't do a cross-board damaging. So there's all that. So we do have Killer Croc doing stuff, Poison Ivy doing stuff with health variable depending on the number of players. We've got the Joker, we've got Clayface, we've got Harley, we have the Riddler right there, all as henchmen cards. So we've got that. Then we've got Deception right here, which is a under pressure card. Does he have... He doesn't have a specific starting plan card. So we've got Deception, Watching Batman, a couple of that, a couple more Deceptions, more Watching Batman, more Deceptions, Watching Batman, Batman, Deception, Watching Batman, Batman, Deception, Watching Batman, Deception. Watching Deception, Batman, all that stuff. So Deception, until the next villain turn, Hush redirects the first damage he would take to a thug in his location, if any. So he's got that going on there. And then the Watching Batman card. Until the next villain turn, if any henchmen are defeated by Batman, remove the top Master Plan card from the game. So... Until the next villain turn, if any henchmen are defeated by Batman, remove the top Master Plan card from the game. So that would just make the deck go faster. Let's see. And all those Deception cards, yeah, they all just add thugs. So, yeah, that is going to be Hush's decks. We've gone through all the villains, so we'll take a look at the cards for the heroes real fast, and then we will take a look at our models and go from there. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to play this. And it sounds bad because you try to go back and play like base Marvel United, like with Cap, Iron Man, all those guys and everything like that. And it's just like the way the card, maybe Marvel United 1, it's still fun to play, but you can definitely tell like they're up in the ante with how these characters are compared to like how the system was. You can just definitely see how the system grows. Again, I know we're talking about a DC game here, but if they were to do something to update villains in like a season 4, if they do a season 4 of Marvel United, I think they should try to take some time and maybe as some kind of an add-on pack. You don't need new models, but as some kind of an add-on pack, try to update the villains, the characters. I don't know, that maybe. I feel like it's something I want but don't want at the same time, if that makes any sense. So, but anyway, so we got our superhero cards and our supervillain cards. We are not going to go through those, superhero and supervillain right here. We're not going to go through those because those should be the same as in Marvel United X-Men, Marvel United Multiverse, and Marvel United Spider-Man. We don't need to go back through them again here. Superman being all kinds of pissed off right here with the fact that he has been mind controlled right here. So, Kryptonian Physiology, gain 1 wild token. He's got a couple of those. He's got his charged effect of Heat Vision. During any of your turns, flip this card to punch, split as you like in your and adjacent locations. And I believe once this is flipped, it is no longer in the master plan. So, there you go. Don't flip it right away if you can avoid it. So that way someone doesn't lose a heroic action. Under Poison Ivy's control, this is a mandatory effect. If this card is in your hand, you must play it each time you perform a punch this turn. Deal 1 damage to another hero in your or each adjacent location. So somehow coordinate with your players to get out of his way. So he can use this card. So Invulnerability is going to be his constant effect. You may ignore 1 damage during each villain turn. If you do, you may punch in your location. So that is going to be all of Superman's cards. Catwoman goggles with a little diamond up there. I don't know if you can see that. We got punch, move, punch, heroics, punch, wilds. We've got a charge effect there. During any villain turn, flip this card to ignore damage equal to the number of civilians in your turn. Got Martial Artist, which isn't anything major. You this turn treat punch on the previous card as a punch. So she gets some punch in there. Master Thief. There we go. Take an equipment card owned by another player and do some stuff there. And then Stunning Deception. Attach a stun token to a villain or henchman, and then for a constant effect, you can redirect damage you would take and tokens you're given to other heroes in your locations. That's pretty cool. I mean, not for the other people taking damage, I guess, but that's going to be her artwork starting hand card right there. So we got that. We got the Huntress doing Huntress stuff on her motorcycle right there. Got Espionage. Look at the top card of any deck. You may put it at the bottom. So it looks like she's got 1, 2, 3 of those, each giving her a different token on the bottom of the deck. Motivated by Vengeance. If you defeat 2 or more thugs or a henchman this turn, at the end of the turn you gain 1 heroic or 1 punch token, and 1 gives you movement, 1 gives you punch right there. So that's going to be hers. No starting cards to speak of. Tim Drake right here. Got all his regular cards, double wild, master martial artist. This turn treat punch on the previous hero card as a double punch. That's basically the same as Catwoman's. Meditation. You can't be given crisis tokens until the beginning of your next turn. Investigation. Look at the top card of the master plan deck. You may put it at the bottom. Alright, and then he's got tactical awareness. 2 cards with a lot of words and pictures. Reveal the top card of the master plan deck. If it will add more civilians than thugs, gain 1 heroic token. If more thugs than civilians, gain 1 punch token. Otherwise, gain 1 movement token. So it's got 2 copies of that right there. So now we get on to Batman Classic. We've got standard punch things there. I'm realizing with a lot of these guys that it's only half the deck is standard cards, and Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards here, and even the other characters had more than the standard 3 or 4 from Marvel United 1 and then Marvel United 2. But we definitely are getting more special cards in DC Superheroes United. You can't escape from the bat that easily. Next villain turn, villains and henchmen in your location can't leave. So we got that. Formidable Fighter, defeat all thugs in your location. So that's a pretty good overflow preventer right there. Then we've got our charged effect. If Robin is about to be KO'd during a villain turn, flip this card to avoid Robin discarding his last card. So we've got that, and if you're not playing, like you've got like a 2 or 3 player game that doesn't involve Robin in the group, then this basically is just a punch. So we've got that. Wayne resources, give one wild token from the pool to any hero, so that's pretty cool. Then we've got detective skills. During any of your turns, flip this card to look at the top card of the master plan deck. You may put it at the bottom. Because if it's not something bad, you can leave it right where it is and not deal with whatever comes next. Bat gadgets, recharge up to 2 of your equipment cards at the end of your turn, or gain 1 wild token. Depending on how the bat gadgets work, it can go either way with that one. So now we have looked at all of our cards in the game, all of our dashboards, all of our stuff, kind of how the game is working. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the pretty figures that will be on your board as you play. So we're going to go first with Catwoman right here. There is Selena Kyle, Catwoman. Goggles right there. So that is pretty cool. We're going to go with the Huntress next. And so again, I know I mentioned it earlier with the difference with the card types of Marvel United. I will say the figures also in DC Superheroes United are, I mean, Marvel United Multiverse, great figures, all that stuff. Marvel United X-Men, definitely improvements. Comparing some of these things to like the Marvel United 1 figures, like hands down, some of the newer stuff is a lot better. But again, it's because you've got, was it 5 years of working on these things and designing these things and everything like that. So again, the Marvel United, I if I was going to get anything from Marvel United, it would be potentially updating some of the cards, not all the cards, but maybe updating some of the cards, the way the characters work and everything like that. Even the villains, some of them need a little bit of work. But we got Tim Drake Robin right here, looking a little angry Jason Toddy here. So, and I can't tell looking at this, did they give him shorts? Like they gave him shorts for some reason, which I don't remember. I don't think that version of Robin had shorts. Or did he have, or was it like, yeah, it was, I'm sitting here thinking of like that he had like black pants on, but that's Damien, not whatever. It's been a while. New 52 messed us all up. Anyway, so there is Robin, his figure. And then we're going to take a look at Batman, big boy right here. Very intimidating presence on the board. I've seen some people who have actually like turned this into an actual light online. Not planning on doing that myself, but that is a nice figure. I wish it was kind of more standing on a gargoyle, because it would look like that one cover that I think is a variant cover for Hush, I believe, but it is what it is. We're going to look at our dual mode character here. Another very impressive character for Superman. Right there. Looking all mean and mind control-y right there. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got the Joker right here, standing on a vat of chemicals. That's pretty nice. Got Harley dressed in her respectable DC Animated Universe original costume from Batman the Animated Series that got carried over into the initial DCU. So we've got that. And then finally, we've got not Jason Todd, but we've got Hush right here. Tommy Elliott. Spoilers. Right there. Figure actually looks pretty nice. I like it a lot. All these figures are amazing. They look really good. Cannot wait to get this onto the table and play it. Don't know when that is going to be yet. Trying to work with scheduling some stuff with getting some gameplay done. I'll make a video as to why it's been such a chore for those of you who are interested, but just know that I would like to do it. So we got that there. But anyway, that is everything for DC Superheroes United Batman Hush Core Box. Thank you for sticking with me until the end on this one. I really enjoyed this. Really like all the figures, card effects, all that stuff. Cannot wait to play this. Really hoping we get some more DC Superheroes United content soon. But I'm not expecting the Kickstarters to be fulfilled until at this point 2027. So just the way things are right now. So that is what I've got to say about that. So but yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I believe, I'm not sure if it still is, but this was available on Amazon where I purchased it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I have been Eric. This has been Rockshire Gaming. We have unboxed the DC Superheroes United Batman Hush box, and we will see you guys all in the next video. All right, bye.